And welcome to the Den in Mill Creek, Washington, Jackson High School. It is time for a Wesco 4A girls basketball, a league game tonight between the home team, the Jackson Timberwolves, who come into this game with a record of 2-1 in league play, 4-4 overall, and their opponent, the Cascade Bruins, coming into the night with an 0-3 record in league play, 1-8 overall. Steve Willits, along with the five-tool player Todd Elvick here at the Den, ready to go. Tip-off just about ready to take place. Jackson wearing the home white uniforms. Cascade wearing the road black. We'll get to the starting lineups here in just a moment. And we are underway. Jackson with the ball early on. Number 22, Lauren Schilberg. Get you those starting lineups right now. Number 3, Anna Gambish. She's a 5'7" senior. Number 22, and shot is up. Shot is off the mark. That was number 23 throwing up the ball. Olivia Skibble, you're going to hear her name a lot. A 6'1" junior. Starting along with her, Lauren Schilberg, number 22. She's a 6'2" junior. We then have Jaden Kitchen, the 5'3" senior guard, wearing the number 24, and then number 25, Sydney Carter, the 6-foot post player. And that is your starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Down low, pass going from Carter to Skibble, the first points of the game. 30 seconds in, the Timberwolves out to the early 2-0 lead. Now we'll move over and get to the Bruins starting lineup as they dribble the ball down the floor. Number 22 with the ball in her hands, that is Caitlin Daniel. She's a 5'7" senior wing. Turnover almost. Getting the ball right back and passing it out. We'll get to the rest of that lineup in a minute. Daniel's shot blocked. That's number 22, Schilberg, getting her hand on it. Skibble going down the floor, puts it up and gets it to float in to the hoop from the left side. She now has the first 4 points of the game. Just a little more than a minute in. Getting near the rest of the Bruins lineup right now. Katie Valenzuela, she's a 5'4" junior guard wearing the number 23. Speaking of which, throws up a shot and misses it off the rim. Daniel with the rebound, tries to go up underneath. The defender can't do it. The rest of the Cascade lineup, number 32, Casey Lorenzen. She is a 5'6" senior. Brooke Alciaga wears the number 33, a 5'10" senior. And then sister Amanda Alciaga, a 5'9" senior, wearing the number 44. Long shot up in the air. That's off of the hands of Skibble. She misses it. We're going to get a whistle. And they're going to call that one on Lauren Schilberg from Jackson. First foul of the game for either team. 6:19 to go here, first quarter. Timberwolves out to the early 4-0 lead and looking for more as they press Cascade right now. Cascade able to get it across the floor, past the midcourt line, and they're going to get the ball knocked out of bounds. To get that in just in time, almost gets it picked off and right back to her. Cascade looking to set their offense. They're down to 13 on the shot clock. Daniel out on the right wing. Drives in, puts up a floater, misses it, but draws contact. She's going to head to the line for 2. The call is going to go against Gambish, her first. Second team foul against the Timberwolves here in the first quarter with 5:57 to go. As Cascade looking for their first points of the night. And they're going to have to keep looking as Daniel misses the first of 2 free throws.
What kind of records we got there?
Hey, why not? We'll mention them again. Cascade, 1-8 on the year. Jackson, 4-4. It's the five-tool player, Todd Elvick, right there. The producer, camera operator, doing a little bit of everything. That's why we call him the five-tool player, right?
The five.
As you were nicknamed once upon a time, I believe Scott Oshman putting that moniker on you, if I remember correctly. Carter swinging the ball into the corner. Gambish getting it over to Skibble. Skibble's going to, I thought she drove contact initially, but they're going to call it for the travel, and that's going to turn it over to Cascade. Jackson playing with a lot of height out there. 6 foot, a 6'1", and a 6'2" player to go along with 5'7" and 5'3".
They can't coach height.
You cannot coach height. That is very true. You hear that every so often, don't you? And it seems to apply to the game of basketball more often than not. Cascade getting the ball into the front court. Long shot going up, hitting the front of the iron. That was number 32, Casey Lorenzen on the shot. Misses it. Jackson on the other end. Easy layup for Schilberg. Her first bucket of the night. And Jackson, 3 minutes into the game, out to the 6-0 lead. As Cascade still looking for their first points of the evening. Cascade being coached by John Barhanovich. Second tenure with Cascade. He was a longtime coach here in the 90s. He's been teaching there the entire time, but took a break from coaching for a while to coach his own kids. Then moved over to Archbishop Murphy, where he actually coached a team into the state championship game. It was back in 2009. Finished up his tenure at Murphy 4 years ago, and then last year was named the head coach for the second time with the Bruins. Still working on turning that program around. They were 90 and 89 during his first tenure, and that's a nice pass underneath the basket. Into the bucket. That is number 23, Skibble, with another layup. Give Sidney Carter the nice assist on the play. It makes it 8-0. Bronovich in his second time around trying to turn this Cascade program around. A Cascade team that was 12 and 87 the previous 5 years before he got there, and a very long losing streak at one point that exceeded 40 games. He went 5 and 15 last year. Still trying to work towards getting back to where he had him for a while there. And actually his glory days, if you will, when he was at his best at Cascade, were his last 3 seasons as the coach. They were 57 and 22 during that time. So he certainly knows a thing or two about turning a program around and looking to get the Bruins back to where he had them once upon a time. As we get our first substitution of the game, it's number 53 checks in. That's Rose Gonzalez. Cascade still looking for their first bucket. Long shot off the backboard, hits the back iron, bounces off. Skibble grabs the rebound, looks to push it. Over to Carter, right corner, swings it out to Schilberg. She puts up a floater from 12 feet out and gets it to go. Lauren Schilberg with her second bucket of the night. 10-0 score here, Jackson, as we're just a little more than halfway through the first quarter.
I think he's going to have to call a timeout here a minute and slow these guys down.
And we'll see what Baranovich wants to do. Cascade still looking for their first points. Nice little crowd here tonight watching the game. See Dave Peters, the principal at Jackson, even over in the corner watching the game tonight. 17-footer high off the backboard, bounces off. You can hear the shot clock buzzer going off. However, Jackson had already taken possession, so they'll just ignore that. And Jackson will dribble into the front court here. Skibble with a nice spin move, decides to pull back. Gets the screen from Schilberg, fires out from long range. Ball bounces over the basket and out of bounds, and Cascade will take over with 2:41 to go here in the first quarter as we get yet another substitution. This time it's Cascade as Valerie Zaragoza checks into the game for the first time tonight. She is a 5'4" senior. See if she can perhaps give the Bruins a little spark. Cascade finally crossing the midcourt line. Ball goes off the leg of Lorenzen. Schilberg picks it up for Jackson. Skibble pulls up from long range, fires up a 3, misses it. Offensive board coming down into the hands of number 15. That's Megan Madison, who checked in just a short time ago. She misses the shot. Cascade now on the other end, still looking for their first points. They have to wait a little bit longer as that shot from Lorenzen hits off the back iron. Here comes Jackson. Into the lane goes Schilberg. Floats it up, misses it, but draws contact. And on the play, Lauren Schilberg will head to the line with 2 free throw attempts with 2 minutes to go even here in the first quarter. And Casey Lorenzen's going to pick up her first foul, the first foul of the game against the Bruins. Schilberg now with 5 points on the night as she's looking to make it 6. She could tie her teammate Skibble if she can make this. And this is it, still 11-0 as those two ladies have all of the points scored combined for either team so far tonight. Perhaps making their own push for player of the game.
Yeah. Well, Skibble had got it last time, so
maybe Miss Schilberg pushing for it. Well, who's the sponsor for player of the game, Todd Elvick?
Speedway Chevrolet.
There you go. The Speedway Chevrolet player of the game. We'll have that interview after the game. Cascade missing yet another shot. Again, that was Lorenzen. Wasting very little time, Jackson. Nice pass underneath. Skibble's going to get the bucket, but really give the credit to Megan Matson as she has the nice assist on the play. Madison, the 5'11" junior, 13-0 score here first quarter. A full timeout. And with that, we'll take a break. You're watching STSPN.com.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, we are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
And we are back here again at the Den, Jackson High School, Mill Creek, Washington. Timberwolves out to a 13-0 lead over the Cascade Bruins. And we want to thank another one of our sponsors, IRG Physical Therapy, the one located on Murphy's Corner, because we know there are multiples. IRG making this broadcast a possibility tonight, and we certainly thank them, as do the players, coaches, fans, and anybody else who might be taking advantage and watching this game tonight. If you're a Jackson Timberwolves fan, you really are thanking IRG as you're watching your team out to a 13-0 lead here late first quarter. Cascade hoping to get on the board here at some point. Gonzalez with the ball up high, swings it on over to Alciaga. Ball still swinging around. Free throw line is Gonzalez. Down to 3 seconds on the shot clock. Something needs to be done. Shot is up, and that was missed by Katie Valenzuela. Now we're down under a minute to go. 46 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Jackson looking to pitch the shutout here in the first period. See if they can maybe even score yet another basket, as Gambish is going to go to the right side. Misses the shot. Offensive board initially knocked out of the hands of Skibble and picked up by number 32. That's Casey Lorenzen. Now down to 25 seconds to go. Brooke Alciaba thought about shooting it, then finally does. Misses it off the back iron. Actually, I think that might have missed the iron entirely and got nothing but glass there. Madison on the other end. She uses the glass, and she banks it in for a 15-0 score with 11 seconds to go, as Cascade will have one final attempt here to get on the board before the end of the first quarter. Driving into the lane is Valenzuela. She loses it. I'm going to say it was last touched by Jackson. However, there's only a half second remaining in the quarter. Cascade is going to need to catch and shoot or just bat it up towards the basket. We'll see what kind of an inbounds play they have, as checking into the game for the first time, Alexa Martin, number 14 for Jackson. Martin's a 5'10" junior. Again, half second to go. Let's see what they can concoct here, and they're just going to throw it into Gonzalez. No shot, no score. Cascade shut out here in the first quarter. It is 15-0 Jackson. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get going with the second quarter of action. You're watching STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
And welcome back to the Den at Jackson High School. The Timberwolves out to the 15-0 lead through one quarter of play. Steve Willits, Todd Elvick coming to you live on STSPN.com. And Todd, I did a basketball game last week in which I saw a team fall behind 17-0. That would have been Kamiak versus Meadowdale girls basketball game. Meadowdale had the 0 after the first quarter, and they came back and got it within a 2-point game in the fourth. So perhaps Cascade can come back and do something. That's not the way to do it, though, right there. Is the shot from Brooke Alciaga goes out of bounds, and Jackson will take over the possession.
I'll tell you, the surprise was, what was your take on the Monroe-Kamiak game last night?
The boys' game.
Yeah.
Yeah, was not expecting that. Kamiak Kamiak's a funny team. They can come out and shoot lights out at times, and they did, especially, and that's going to be a double dribble. There's Jackson turns the ball over. Yeah, the Kamiak boys, Carson Tuttle and crew, coming out with a victory over the Bearcats of Monroe, their first league loss of the year. And Monroe did not look good. It was a 14-point game going into the fourth, and Monroe made a nice push at the end, but came up a little bit short. So, meanwhile, you had a boys' game last night.
We did.
The Mariner Marauders versus the Lake Stevens Vikings, right?
That is correct.
You got a 3-quarter court shot to end the third quarter, so perhaps we can catch something like that here. Still looking for our first points from Cascade. That time it was number 41. It was Baraka Johida, who just came into the game a few moments ago. She's a 5'5" junior.
Well, I think that when teams are a little bit less skilled than their matchups, I think that the key to quality programs is when they get the athletes to not give up and keep working. It's the only way they can possibly get better.
And perhaps, I think Cascade is trying to follow the blueprint of Jackson maybe a little bit. 3-point ball up in the air. Goes off, and we're going to get a rebound from number 11. Nice hustle. That's Brianna Williams, who came in during the early second quarter. 5'6" senior, and ball does end up going out of bounds. Cascade basketball. And yeah, Jackson's a team that struggled for the last couple of years. They were 10-14 last year. Made it to the districts. Were knocked out by Kamiak, and certainly a lot of young players on that team. They were playing a lot of sophomores at the time, and this girl's another year older now and starting to gel a little more in a league that's perhaps a little more open than it's been in the last couple of years. And Cascade, there's some youth on this team. I know they were playing a lot of seniors last year. Now, granted, there are quite a few seniors as well, but they're a team that work in progress. They did win the JV game, we should mention right before this. Their JV squad defeating Jackson's team 33-29. So I know.
And that was quite competitive, I got to tell you, for a junior JV game. It was
2 free throws.
It was off the hook.
Made it a 4-point game with 11 seconds to go. So it was a 2-point game right before that. And so certainly something to build on perhaps for Cascade is, again, Borhanovic. So we're going to get a double dribble there, turnover back to Cascade. He's trying to put some building blocks in place for the future, and he's done it before. So we'll see what he can do as we're still looking for our first points of the second quarter with 6:14 to go here in the half. 15-0 score. Jackson looking to trap right now. Good pressure there by both number 14, Alexa Martin, and number 24, Jaden Kinchin. And we're going to get a full timeout, and we're going to take a break. You're watching STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
And welcome back once again from Jackson High School. I want to mention our sponsor, IRG. Look at that logo up in the corner. Todd Elvick, you do wonders, my friend. IRG Physical Therapy on Murphy's Corner for bringing this game to you tonight, bringing a Jackson shutout so far, and we might even get some more points here as steal is made. That was number 15, Megan Madison. Kicks it back to Schilberg. She's going to swing it around. Madison with the ball in her hands once again. Gets it down low to Schilberg, spins, doesn't have anything, kicks it back to Madison. A little two-person game going on here right now. We're down to 11 on the shot clock. This time Jaden Kinchin's going to take the ball from left to right. Gets trapped in that corner. We're down to 4 on the shot clock. It doesn't matter. It was last touched by Kinchin, and Cascade will take over with 5:31 to go here in the second quarter. Bruins, we're not keeping track of stats here other than points, but they've certainly had their share of field goal attempts and into double figures certainly as far as how many shots they've put up. They just haven't been able to hit one yet. Let's see if this is the right moment. This is not, however. We're going to get another trip to the free throw line as Valerie Zaragoza draws the contact.
And those points are free.
You'd think. They're 0 for 2 so far at the line, so we'll see how they do here as Caitlin Daniel missed a couple earlier. See if Zaragoza fares any better. And she does. Cascade is on the board. For those that had 5 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the second quarter in the office pool, consider yourself a winner. Checking back in once again for Cascade is Brooke Alciaga, as number 52 Trinity Baker will take a seat. See if Katie can make it 2 out of 2. It bounces around and then bounces right off. Skibble there to bring it down, and she's going to look to push up the floor. Into the corner, Madison for 3. Off the back iron, bounces around, and she's going to get her own rebound. You never know where that ball's going to bounce sometimes, and this time it was all the way out past the arc, and she was able to retrieve that. And Jackson now with a new shot clock. Madison looking down low. Skibble gets double teams, kicks it out. We get a whistle before the shot, and we're going to get a 3-second violation called against Skibble. A little too much camping in the key, which will turn the ball back over to Cascade, who is now on a 1-0 run, I might add. So let's see if they can add to that.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Can't get to 2 before you get to 1, apparently. Unless you make a field goal, then you can. But Cascade, they're going to look for a 3 this time. It's up in the air. Bounces around, finally comes off. That was Caitlin Daniel, who's back in the game now. Missing the 3 ball. Jackson right back to the other end. Williams looking for Skibble in the key. Skibble goes to her left, lays it up and in. Skibble now with 10 points on the night. Made sure to get that ball out of her hands quickly this time, as she had just gotten called for a 3 the last drive down. Didn't want to get that called against her for a second consecutive time, and didn't. The ball's going to be batted out of bounds by Jackson. Cascade keeps possession with 18 to go here on the shot clock. 4:15 in the quarter. Bruins looking to get the ball into the key. That was number 41, Baraka Johida. She finally swings it back out, and Caitlin Daniel will reset the offense. Now down to 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Cascade with the 3 ball up off the iron. Bounces away. Jackson now looking to push down on the other end as Madison once again out on the wing, gets it down low, finds a cutting player to the basket. That's Sydney Carter. She picks up her first points of the night, makes it a 19-1 game. And there's another steal. That's Alexa Martin this time. The steal going all the way, lays it up and in. Dwayne Morris, the head coach for Jackson, is going to call a 30-second timeout and give his team a little break and perhaps get a substitution or 2 in, as it's Jackson's first timeout of the game. Keep it right here. You know, Todd, you kind of mentioned it earlier. It's if you're Cascade, you're kind of in rebuild mode. I hate to say it like this, but at this point, I think you're probably not thinking of a victory more so than just how can we improve, how can we
absolutely
work our offense, make this into a meaningful game that can perhaps help us moving forward. Certainly there are games to be had and won this year.
Well, the hardest thing I think for some of these young athletes to learn is the fact that it's not they're not going to be the hero by just throwing up a ball, just trying to make something happen. It's always a team effort when it comes to basketball. Well, any sport as far as that goes. But
we'll keep an eye and see if Cascade, and perhaps we'll see some improvement tonight. So they still have some time here, and that's not going to be the way to start doing that as the pass sails out of bounds. Jackson ball with 3:14 to go here in the second quarter. You see our friend Scott Williams over there against the door there. Scott Williams Photography. You can see him in the camera.
Oh yeah, he's always in the shot.
He's always in the shot. He's always at games. I think there's 4 Scott Williamses at this point. I saw him last night at the Kamiak Monroe boys basketball game. I saw him at Mount Lake Terrace High School a week ago doing some games, and I'm convinced now that there are multiple Scott Williamses, and he's doing a fantastic job as he tends to shoot a lot of Wesco basketball, both boys and girls in the area. Another shot by Madison, a 3 ball. This time she connects. Megan Madison with her first tray of the game, the first tray of the game for either team. 24-1. Jackson out in front with 2:32 to go here in the first half as Haley Yort will check into the game for the first time. The number 40 player you probably saw going through your screen a minute ago. She's a 5'10" sophomore post. It looks like number 21, Samantha Clotter, will also be coming into the game during the next dead ball. Cascade still looking for their first field goal of the night. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds, but we're going to get a shot clock violation first as the clock ticked down to 0, and Jackson will now take over with 2:08 to go. I just mentioned Clotter a minute ago. She's a 5'4" sophomore. So for Jackson, you've got 3 sophomores on your team, none of which start. So kind of a nice in this particular opportunity here in this moment to get them some playing time. Up comfortably. Madison's going to shoot another 3. This time she misses. York goes for the rebound, can't come away with it. Finally grabbing the basketball on the ground is Katie Valenzuela for Cascade. Swings it wide to Lorenzen. Thought about putting up a shot. Nice job by Skibble to come out on her rather quickly to convince her that she should do otherwise. 1:32 to go here in the half. Shot clock down to 8. Cascade needing to do something quick. I think we're going to get a few too many steps there as cutting in towards the basket was number 53, Rose Gonzalez. Picked up her dribble and took an extra step, and Jackson's going to have another player check in for the first time. This is Thalia Timotea as she gets her first action of the evening. 5'5" senior. Jackson slowing it down a bit. Yord a little too aggressive as she tried to throw a screen there for Skibble, and they say she was moving in the process, and she's going to pick up her first foul. 4th team foul against Jackson. Cascade only has 1 foul, so from that standpoint, it's been a relatively clean game, not a lot of contact.
Well, I think that we were watching couple of games, and you know, the ones that are doing a lot of the scoring, they seem like they go up on the fouls the quickest.
Yeah, so sometimes you get those fouls to use for a reason, right? A steal, a layup, doing a little bit of everything there. That's Alexa Martin. She now has 4 points on the game, 26-1. No, you're absolutely right. Sometimes the
aggression, you know what I mean?
The aggression will draw the turnovers in the process, and fouls aren't necessarily a bad thing as long as you're not a key player fouling out on your team in a pivotal moment. They're going to get a foul before the shot as number 44, Amanda Alciaga, I think, was hoping that she was going to get sent to the line, but they're going to say it happened beforehand. Skibble's going to pick up her first. So 5 fouls on Jackson from 5 different players. So we do not have a single player on either team right now with more than 1 foul. Brooke Alciaga trying to get it into sister Amanda, and it's going to go off the foot of a Jackson player, so we'll keep it right here with 32.7 seconds left in the half.
Again, I'm going to go back to the point of when they're playing really aggressive, they're playing on the edge. And if you're playing on the edge, you're probably committing a few fouls.
Indeed. Alciaga still trying to get in bounds. Finally does as she finds Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes into the key. Jackson playing on the edge, but not playing with contact there. So nice job for them as Cascade's going to keep the ball. They're going to keep the possession right here. There is a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. So, and now it doesn't matter at all as Jackson gets the steal. Nice job by Martin to get her hand in on that one. Clotter's going to put up a shot. She misses it. Scramble for the basketball. Anybody's guess as to who comes up with it. It's still rolling around. And finally, number 32, Casey Lorenzen, comes away with it. 10 seconds left here in the half. Cascade hoping to get a field goal before the half expires. Shot by Lorenzen, air ball, rebound by her teammate, and we're going to get a foul with 0.8 seconds left in the half. And that's Brooke Alciaga that's going to step to the line as she drew contact from Timoteo, her first foul. So again, Jackson 6 fouls, 6 different players.
Now, who do you got tomorrow night?
I don't. No game tomorrow night.
No.
Oh, tomorrow for the I was thinking it was Thursday. You know, these short weeks coming off of a holiday break, it screws me all up. By the way, I should point out that Brooke Alciaga just missed her first free throw attempt. But yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. A pretty good show tomorrow night. I appreciate you asking. Call that a segue.
Absolutely. You guys do a good job over there.
It's been a lot of fun. The half is over. We did get a second free throw there, so Cascade down 26-2. Should we talk about that now, or do we want to wait?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Prep Sports Weekly on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO. Tom Lafferty and
And
I.
95.3
FM, yeah. And EverettPost.com if anybody wants to listen. It also goes up in the form of a podcast. Yeah, we do a weekly radio show out of the KRKO studios in Everett, focusing on high school sports in the area. And tomorrow night we've got a trio of guests, if you will, 3 different segments. We're going to have our first segment, a name that I think some of the folks around here and those who are watching Wesco 4A basketball, girls will know, Kylie Griffin.
Oh, nice.
Who's having a fantastic year over at Lake Stevens, already committing to playing at Gonzaga next year. Her father, Dexter, was the longtime boys coach over at Mariner. So we've got Kylie and Dexter coming into the studio together to have a conversation with us. Segment number 2, Carson Tuttle, basketball player for Kamiak. A guy after my own heart. He's 5'10", and yet he puts up points. And he was the Everett Herald Player of the Year last year as a junior. He's a senior this year, and not only is he having a nice year, he put up 52 points in a game down in California over the holiday break.
Nice.
They did lose the game, so there's that. But Carson Tuttle, along with his head coach, Corey West, are going to be in studio, so we'll do a segment with them. And then a segment that I'm looking forward to, we're going to have David Kopp, who is the girls basketball coach at Granite Falls, and he's going to bring a couple of his players into studio. And we're going to talk about their recent trip to Alaska. They played in a holiday tournament in Alaska. And this is fun because I'm still kind of in the dark on this. David and I have been going back and forth to talk about, the logistics of getting them into the studio and whatnot. But the Everett Herald did a nice story on them before they went on their trip. And there was talk at the time that the organizers of the tournament up in Alaska were going to make it so that I was going to say the girls, but really the team for that matter, the coaches too, were going to perhaps go on an Iditarod ride with an Iditarod champion. They were going to maybe see the Northern Lights, which it's that time of year again.
Absolutely.
They were going to maybe go ice fishing, drive along the Seward Highway, a lot of the things that you think of when you think of Alaska in the winter. So we're going to talk to the girls a little bit about that experience and how they made that trip happen, because that trip's not paid for. You have to raise your own funds, and it's Granite Falls. And they didn't have a lot of money in the kitty, so to speak, before the season started. So we'll find out how they made that trip a possibility. And so a lot going on tomorrow, all condensed into 1 hour. So again, Fox Sports 1380 tomorrow night, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're not able to listen to it, we'll put it up in the form of a podcast on SoundCloud.com later on that night. Thanks.
Absolutely. That's good stuff.
No, we're having a lot of fun, and being
it's about the athletes.
It is, and there's just so many great mediums that we're using these days. You obviously are working tirelessly. I think you're these days you seem to be in a gym just about every night, if not 4 or 5 nights a week. So
yeah, we average about 4 a night.
Thank goodness for Mrs. Elva, because she's letting you make all these trips. And
we don't always. I think it's because we don't see each other. Because she works all day, then I have a game. Usually get home around 10:30 or so, and she's already asleep. So
that works out well.
I don't get in that much trouble.
Yeah, so there you go. No, the fact that you bring so many games, and I know I join you guys every so often, and it's always a pleasure. But the truth of the matter is I'm able to go and at times watch some of the players that I want to see if I'm not able to get out to a game, and don't always watch you guys live, but I'm able to catch up later on after the fact. And so between what you guys are doing here, and we, I should say, since I'm a part of the team here from time to time, and
absolutely
from what we're able to do at KRKO and podcasting and other things that we're able to work on too, it's been a nice venture, and I think we certainly have enjoyed it, and I hope the athletes and the family members and coaches are as well.
Well, it's absolutely about them. So
Absolutely.
If we weren't getting support from the families and the athletes, and if you don't occasionally see that shirt that you give being worn a few days later, it just makes you smile.
Absolutely. So, hey, and I have to throw it out there again. There's Scott Williams one more time. He's see if we can get Scott. See if we can get Scott to wait for the camera. He's fixated on his phone, but he's probably texting. He's probably tweeting as we speak. So Scott's always. We were just going to get you to wave at the camera. There we go. So Scott working tirelessly. So a lot of folks doing what they can to give exposure to these athletes in the Snohomish County area. So we thank all of them. And having said that, should we take a quick commercial?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Once again, the halftime score here from the Den at Jackson High School. The home team, the Timberwolves, leading the Cascade Bruins 26-2. You're watching STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Depend on trucks. Chevy trucks. We think it's because Chevrolets are the most dependable trucks. Built to last a long time. With durable durability and ruggedness. Son of a gun. Chevrolet pickups are designed and built better than ever, giving you a smooth, solid ride since 1918. I like the extra power, hauling power, super powerful,
Nasty power!
and quality.
Seems they make them
Strong, extra strong.
stronger every year.
Chevy trucks are built for work.
Hard work.
And for play.
That's why Chevy's the best truck.
Mile after mile.
You're watching Jackson Timberwolves Live!
it up.
Yeah, we gotta wait till it's up. Are we on? And we are on. There we go. Welcome back to the Den at Jackson High School. Steve Willits, Todd Elvick. As we were trying to coordinate something here, you're going to see it at some point here, but it's not up right now. But we did. Hey, when it's 26-2, you find little things to talk about, and we're going to have one here shortly. We noticed that there's a poster that's being held up from time to time across from us that we're catching on camera as the shot is up from about 18 feet out. That was Skibble who misses the shot. We'll get you some first half point totals here in just a moment, too. It won't take very long as Cascade still looking for their first field goal of the game. Oh, now it's up, though, so we'll try to catch this here in a moment. We're going to embarrass Casey Lorenzen, number 32, who's on the baseline right now, as we're going to get a whistle. You going to zoom in right there? There we go. There's Casey Lorenzen as a kindergartner, apparently, as one of her friends is holding up a poster of her right there. So the picture is over there. We're seeing that from time to time. So every time you look over and you see that, you'll know who it is now. And then if we want to zoom in down here, she's number 32 in the black. So we can kind of do a before and after here if we can here. So we'll try to zoom in on her in a moment. You can compare and contrast what she looks like now as a high schooler versus what she looked like in kindergarten. Shot from the corner of the free throw line. That one's good as Skibble now with 12 points on the night. Let's get you some other point totals for Jackson. Alexa Martin, 4 points. Megan Madison, 5. Lauren Schilberg, 5. And Sydney Carter, 2, along with, as we just mentioned, Skibble's 12. That is your scoring for Jackson. Ball is shot up and missed. And then for Cascade, it's a much easier rundown here. It's number 23, Katie Valenzuela, has 1 point. And then number 33, Brooke Alciaga, has 1 point. Both going 1 for 2 from the free throw line. 3 ball up in the air. And it stays air. It's air ball as it goes out of bounds, so Cascade will take over with 6:33. So what do you think? Now that we know who that poster is, or we'll have to kind of look a little closer there, Todd. So, again, Casey Lorenzen, and it seems weird to say way back when she was in kindergarten because, well, Casey's a senior, so what would that be? 11 years ago, I guess.
Yeah,
look at my math coming into play there. Yeah. Mount Lake Terrace High School math. 12 minus 1. 3 ball. There's Cascade getting their first bucket of the night, and it comes on the 3 ball of Brooke Alciaga.
Good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. 28-5 now our score. See, if you or I had a picture from kindergarten, 3 ball shot up in the air, Kinchin misses it, Cascade with a rebound. Hey, they might try to get a little run going here. Let's see what they can do as Valerie Zaragoza pulls up and passes it over to Lorenzen. Well, for you, a kindergarten shot would be black and white, right? Or would it be a painting or a portrait?
I was part of a really rich family, so it was it was Technicolor.
You had Van Gogh come over to the house. We're gonna get a foul call there as Cascade misses the 3, but
it would be black and white.
Oh, they're gonna say that was actually a jump ball apparently, so Cascade will keep it. No, but when you're Casey Lorenzen, basket is made. And that's going to be Trinity Baker making her first basket and first points of the night. She now has 2, making it a 28-7 game. Hey, a 5-0 run here for Cascade. Down by 21. Let's see if they can maybe play a little defense here and get the ball back again. Skibble in the paint. Gets it up and in. Give her 14 for the night. That shuts down that little run there. 30-7 is our score. And there was our best chance to look at those 2 side by side as the shot from Alciaga is going to go out of bounds. Oh, it's saved right into the hands of Jackson. Jackson's going to push. See, Todd, with all your fancy technology and camera work, next time when we're going to get a 3 ball by Skibble, hits it. Olivia, 17 points on the evening, 7 of which have come in the 3rd quarter. See, when Lorenzen is in the right corner over there, or she's playing up on the right wing, you'll be able to get the 2 pictures side by side. And
yeah, but that's saying that I can tell who's who.
That's right. You're just going to look at the 3 and the 2 on the jersey, right? Not asking you to tell me what color her eyes are from here, but either in kindergarten or there, you know.
Now, was the 3 before the 2 or the 2 after the 3?
That's a good question. We had a 3-pointer, didn't we? So much talk about these posters. It's 33-7 now. That's Sydney Carter. She gets it into Schilberg. Out to Skibble. Skibble floats one up and in. So the score was 15 0 after the first quarter. 26-2 at the half, and now it's 35-7. Jackson with 9 points in the quarter, all of which have been scored from number 23, Olivia Skibble. We get a full timeout called by Cascade. We'll take yet another break. You're watching STSPN.com. Back to the Den. Jackson on top, 35-7, 4-touchdown lead. Cascade trying to get the ball down low. Ball is turned over as Schoberg's going to get credited with the steal. Steve Willits along with Todd Elvick. Jackson looking as though they're going to run their league record to 3-1 on the season. You mentioned it earlier, Todd. This is a league that's fairly open right now in some regards, as that ball is drained from 12 feet away. That's Jaden Kinchin with her first bucket of the night. Certainly, Lake Stevens looks like they are the cream of the crop right now in the league. And we talked about Kaylee Griffin during the halftime break, and she and Reagan Reed and some of her teammates undefeated thus far in league play. As is Mariner. Mariner's kind of the surprise team, 8-1 on the year. They're big three, if you will, with Hannah Hezekiah, Denisa Grebovec, both of which are seniors, both of which have been playing since their freshman year. And then they added Talia Clark, freshman, who's putting up around 30 points per game so far this year. Those three have gotten the Marauders out to a huge start this year. Corey Gibb, the coach, and the team, as Skibble puts one in from about 16 feet out in the corner. That's what we call in fuego right now. 21 points on the night, 11 of which have been scored here in the first 5.5 minutes of this quarter. 39-7 game. See how long Skibble ends up playing tonight at this point.
I haven't seen Mariner play. I know that I've covered several Lake Stevens girls games, and they are the real deal. They I don't know how they're going to stack up against Kinko, but up here, they look really good.
We're going to get a traveling violation called. I know it is. I'm not sure if I know the exact date. I want to say it's not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday. Lake Stevens is playing Central Valley. And I want to say it's at Wilson High School down in Tacoma. Central Valley won the state championship 2 years ago with nothing but freshmen and sophomore players.
No kidding.
And they're good again this year. They're the favorite to win the state championship. So Lake Stevens gets to play them in season, which is a little bit odd. We don't see that very often at a holiday weekend. There we go, another three ball. Rose Gonzalez putting this one up. Cascade with 2 trays here in the quarter, making the score a little more respectable as they're now into double digits. It's 39-10 right now. So Lake Stevens is going to get a very strong test in about a week and a half when they play that Central Valley team. So we'll see what they can do against I believe it's the Bears of Central Valley over in Spokane. Cascade looking for maybe another three, perhaps. Caitlin Daniel thought about it, and she finally swings it out. Brooke Alciaga from the baseline misses it. Rebound comes down to Brianna Williams. But yeah, Mariners certainly right up there. Glacier Peak, you can never discount them, even though they lost their big three, as you know. You covered a lot of their games the last few years with Sammy Fatkin, Kayla Watkins, and there's a three ball. Megan Madison with her second three-pointer of the game. She now has 8 on the night, 42-10.
Yeah, Glacier Peak, I think they're pretty young. I mean, I think they've got a little bit of learning to do.
They do, but you know what? As far as being one of the top 2 teams in the league, they could be. I think, like I said, I'm expecting Lake Stevens to kind of, I wouldn't say run away with it, but they're certainly the odds-on favorite to win this league. But 2 teams are going to come out of districts and into the regionals. It could be Mariner, it could be Glacier Peak, it could be Jackson. Kamiak always has a strong team, and Brian Norman getting a lot of good play from some of his guards already. And there's a layup as Sydney Carter's going to get her second bucket of the night. That makes it 44-10. We'll keep it right here since it's a 30-second timeout. No doubt Dwayne Morris using that just to get some substitutes in. His team is now out by 34 points. But, yeah, you start to look at this league a little bit. And, again, Cascade kind of in rebuild mode. Monroe 2-6 on the year. Not really sure about Mount Vernon yet. But really a lot of teams could be vying for that second spot coming out of districts this year. So it's going to be a fun tournament to watch come February, and an interesting league to watch over the next 3 or 4 weeks as things start to unfold and teams get into league play. Just looking at Jackson already this year, beating Mount Vernon by 26. They defeated Monroe by 18. They did lose to Glacier Peak by 17, so that game's already been played. They've got another matchup coming later on in the season. So,
well, I think that they've improved a lot, because when I first watched them, I was thinking that
you're talking about Glacier Peak?
I'm talking about Jackson.
Jackson, okay. Ball swung around there. Cascade. Alkiaga. There's still a lot of young players, so you're bound to see improvement throughout the year as Schilberg pulls that one down. And you've certainly seen a lot of these Jackson games already. So, yeah, it's a Jackson team. And that's why you can't always look at a game, especially in this Wesco 4A, and that's the end of the quarter, 44-10 score. And you know this too, Todd. Wesco 4A, you go through and you play everybody twice.
Yep.
You cannot necessarily look at the outcome of the first game in that first round robin and go, well, that means they're going to lose again. I mean, we've certainly seen teams split over the years, and Jackson no different, and Glacier Peak, a young team, that game could be the other way around next time. So.
It certainly could be, and then sometimes it's how the games stack up too, because I think that when you have a lot of games in a row, I think the teams are able to get into a little bit of a rhythm, and depending on who they play and how that play is and how their travel is, I think that plays right into some of the teams being, whether they're a little bit better because of it or they're a little bit worse because of it, just depending on how that goes. Rhythm, I think, is huge in basketball, and when they find that rhythm, sometimes it makes up for a little bit of weakness in ability.
And, we're going to learn a lot about Jackson in the next week. Friday night, 2 nights from right now, they have a home game against Mariner. We talked about Mariner already a little bit, the 8-1 Mariner Marauders. And that's going to be a fun game. By the way, a shameless plug here. I've got the 3 Mariner girls coming into studio next Thursday night. I guess that'll be January 11th for an interview on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO. But, yeah, Mariner versus Jackson. First time they've played each other this year. First of 2 games. And then you've got Lake Stevens coming up next Wednesday. That game's going to be at Lake Stevens.
Let's see what we've got here. I think we've got
broadcasting schedule. There we go.
We got Jackson Kamiak.
That could be a good game. 3-ball, baseline, missed.
That's girls.
Gambish. Which teams are those?
Oh, so Jackson must be at Mariner.
And that would be on. Oh, that's late. You're talking about January 31st.
January 31st.
Yeah, Jackson does play at Mariner. So you are broadcasting that game?
No, because it's at Mariner.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the Jackson Mariner game, the girls' game, is here on Friday. As Williams drives into the paint, puts it up, rims off. Get a little bit of a scramble there as Alexa Martin was able to grab the rebound. And Cascade has decided to call 30-second timeout with 7:15 to go.
We might as well.
You just put it away. I was going to say, let's look at your
no,
broadcast schedule
here.
there for what games do we have coming up on the old STSPN here. It looks as though on Friday you guys are doing Kamiak Glacier Peak boys. That'll be a fun game at Glacier Peak.
Yeah, I think that was a hard one to pass up.
Yeah, no, that's a good matchup right there. And then look at you guys, Saturday wrestling.
Oh yeah, you can talk to Tom about that tomorrow night. He was all for it. He was pushing hard for it.
Snohomish, okay, always a good wrestling program there. So you're gonna Tom.
Well, no, it's a tournament. So
is that one of the tournaments?
It's going to be about 15 schools.
Okay. Which tend to be really popular this time of year. So.
Absolutely, and we're coming in and doing the championship rounds.
Very nice. Okay, so 4 o'clock start time on Saturday. Is that right?
That is right. Well, I mean the wrestling starts before that, but the championship rounds start around 4:30, something like that. So we're going to get started then.
Ooh, 2 Jackson players going hard to the ground. They both get up as Schilberg is limping rather noticeably, and we're going to get a whistle now as Kevin Erickson, one of the referees, decides to call a timeout. We should mention the referees, too, while we're at it. Kevin, along with Jeff Betts and John Brown on the call tonight. Nicely done. You've got a 34-point game and a couple of players hitting the ground hard. You want to make sure everybody's okay as Haley York checks back into the game.
You just double tap it.
We're trying to get, oh, there we go.
And then you just
There we go. We pulling Todd's schedule back up on his phone here. The next girls broadcast next Wednesday night, Monroe at Glacier Peak. And then, as you mentioned, a week from this Friday is Count the Basket. It's number 44, Amanda Alciaga, getting her first points of the night. She'll go to the line to try to make it a three-point play as Madison gets called for the foul. First foul against Jackson in the half. 7th foul against Jackson in the game from 7 different players. We're still waiting for a player from either team to pick up their second foul. So that could be a very good game. You've got that next Friday night, January 12th. Kamiak versus Jackson.
Boy, we'd sure like to be able to add a few extra games there.
I wonder who we could talk to make that happen. I wonder who runs this show anyway.
Well, no, I'm not talking about for us. I mean, we can only be in one place at a time. But, we do have extra gear. We could put it in your car.
So stay tuned. We might have extra games coming up.
Absolutely.
Dun, dun, dun. You just never know what we're going to do around here.
Yeah, no, I would definitely supply the gear for you.
44-13 is our score. As we mentioned a minute ago, Alciaga went to the line. She made the free throw.
Those lights in the back there that are on motion, that always distracts me when all those lights back there go off.
Talking about behind the bleachers.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, the bleachers where we're throwing the ball in right now, as you can see on the screen there, they are full up. Another shot going up. This one is missed. That was number 32, Casey Lorenzen, whose kindergarten picture now is upside down over there.
That's lack of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there.
She's got a whole fan club apparently over there because somebody on the other side of the road there is holding up another sign for her. Well, I shouldn't say they're holding it up. They made one that's now sitting in the lap, but apparently it's the Casey Lorenzen fan club over there. And why not? Everybody wants a fan club. Steal by number 52. That's Trinity Baker. Under 6 minutes to go here in the game. Cascade looking for some more points. They've got 13 so far. Baseline shot. That's Alciaga. Misses it. Jackson pulling it down. Hinchin driving in. Finally kicks it back out to her teammate. That's Martin. Ball's being swung around a little bit right now. Nice play down low. Haley Yort getting her first points of the night. Makes it 46-13.
The ball go out to the concession stand there? I saw him go out the door. They got it back in.
They got it back in time. Grab a quick hot dog, get right back on the court, huh? I've never seen that one before. That would be
the other night we were at Lake Stevens, and I came back into the gym, and I had one of those hot dogs. It was at Lake Stevens. It was a boys' game. It was last night, I think. Weren't we at Lake Stevens last night?
Turn over here. I believe you were.
I offered the hot dog.
You did at Lake Stevens game. I don't know if you were at
Yeah,
Lake
that's
Stevens.
right. Yeah.
Was that
it was. Anyway, I offered the hot dog to one of the players, and he actually thought I was serious. He's like, no, I can't right now. I'll tell you, though.
That used to happen at I used to work for the Seattle Supersonics, and interesting to see what some of those players would try to eat during halftime at games sometimes.
Yeah, but those guys are running through 10,000 cars.
Still, a hot dog probably not the ideal thing to consume when you're in the middle of an NBA basketball game. 3-point shot. Martin almost going out of bounds. Does sound kind of good right now, though, doesn't it?
Well, I got to tell you, Jackson, I hate to, show favorites, but really, anybody knows Jackson's got the best sausage dog anywhere in the Wesco.
I haven't had one in a while. We might have to try that later on and find out.
My.
I guess we only have about 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, and you're kind of stuck here for that.
Yeah. Unless we have some sort of an electrical outage and lights go out.
Oh, here's a question for you. I just saw some highlights.
Alexa Martin at the free throw line as I'm waiting for the question. This will be good. Are you going to stump me?
Well, I want to know what you think they do.
Okay.
What if they jump up and they do a slam and it busts the backboard?
In this girls' game here?
Well,
or just in general?
let's just say that it was in this girls' game.
Let's say Alexa Martin misses the free throw, follows up her own shot, grabs it, slams it, and then breaks
Yep.
the backboard?
Yes.
I would love to see that, by the way. She misses the second free throw. So she made the first part of that a possibility, but didn't follow it up with a slam. You mean what would happen in terms of how the game would be scored?
Yeah, well, how would you what would you do with the game? You have to continue another day?
Well, at this point in the game, I think it would be called off and Jackson would win. At some point, and it's interesting that you asked that because I know in pro sports, as we get a ball down low, nice pass. That was Clotter who threw the ball down to Williams, and Williams missed the layup. I think in a lot of sports, we know baseball, obviously, because you have rainouts. After 5 innings, it becomes an official game. I think football has certain stipulations built into it also, like after 3 quarters or if something were to happen or, there were some sort of which we've never really seen it, but if for some reason
the coach just did a fist bump there with one of his players.
Nicely done. If there was a power outage, I think at some point the game becomes official. So being that we're in the 4th quarter, I think it would count. If it were, say, at halftime, I think he would probably continue that later on. Nice steal by Martin, trying to go all the way and does. She has 6 points on the game.
Yeah, I just don't know what the official thing was because I saw a highlight on one of the sports channels where a high school kid jumped up, slammed the ball, busted the backboard, and it was really a great highlight. But then I was like, well, what happens after that?
Yeah, in the NBA, you always have you always have backup baskets in the back, so you could always wheel one out and put it up and assemble it. And we've seen that over the years. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour, but it's happened.
I don't think Jackson's got a backup.
No, I'm saying in the league in the show, but no, you're right. I'm not sure how that works at the high school level.
Well, here, you know what I bet they could do? They could just take and move it to the other court.
On a night like tonight, you could move the entire crowd over there. I'm not saying anything that people don't already realize, right? We can see the shots across the way. They're not exactly a packed house. Although there's a lot more people.
Well,
on the side of the gym,
and that is what Jackson people like to always complain a little bit about. They say, you're shooting that direction, and I said, yeah, we have to, but it isn't always very representation. Doesn't give a good representation of how many people are actually here because that is the kids' side.
And that's pretty common, I think, in most of the gyms. I know in Mount Lake Terrace High School, for instance, where I occasionally do some public address announcing. Everybody sits on the same side of the floor for the most part, except for the student section, which is getting more and more sparse all the times. Everybody on their phones and whatnot and staying home, but that's another story. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Probably 90% of the folks that are in the gym right now, we can't see them on camera because they're on the same side as us. Is scramble on the ground there. Nice job by Williams to try to knock it away. Even nicer job by Gonzalez for Cascade to keep that ball alive as the Bruins come down to the other end. But you're right, so you can't really tell from looking across the camera there, but down to 2:37 to go here in the game. Cascade continuing to run their offense, trying to get something going, and rightfully so.
Absolutely.
Still want to work on things. As we mentioned, there's plenty of basketball coming up this year for them. We talked about Jackson a minute ago. Let's take a look at Cascade's schedule. As Cascade's going to have Caitlin Daniel, number 22, check back in, as is number 52, Trinity Baker. Cascade heading to Lake Stevens on Friday night. They then head home for Mariner next Wednesday. And then they're at Monroe on Friday, January 12th. And then apparently they start the round robin all over again. Round 2 is, again, everybody in Wesco 4A, 8-team conference, so everybody plays each other twice. Yort misses the shot.
Yeah, I think I like that actually. Getting a double shot at somebody because
there's a 3-ball, another one. Number 31, Zaragoza getting her first bucket of the night. Valerie Nell on the board, 48-16. No, in Wesco 3A, they talk about that from time to time. You got a 13-team league, and here comes Cascade one more time. Let's put another bucket in there, and one. We're going to get the foul as Baraka Johaida with her first points of the evening, making it 48-18. And
the headshot is back up.
There we go. So you get a few buckets, and all of a sudden, Kindergarten Casey pops back up. Kindergarten Casey Lorenzen right there.
Do you know who you're inviting over?
Can we interview the kindergarten head, or is that not going to work? We need somebody to actually come over and talk, right? Yeah. No, we're probably let's leave everybody in suspense. we gotta move it.
We want to bring over the fan that's got the head. Leave it to you. You're kind of a media genius.
Casey on a stick is what we'll call that. 48-19 is our score. Well, again, we want to mix it up a little bit on a night like tonight. I mean, Skibble has 21, but we'd like to maybe get another player in here. I got an idea here, but should we save it? Should we not tell anybody yet? I mean, we could bring a couple of different players on here, right? A few different players having big nights tonight. There's a 3-ball. Johaida with another bucket. She now has 5 on the night, all coming in the last 2 minutes here. So we're now down to 1:06 to go here in the game. 48-22 is our score. Is Jackson going to get to the half-century mark? Williams out on top. We're now down under a minute to go. 3-ball in the air. Not quite yet. Williams does get the offensive board, so the Timberwolves keeping the basket here. We're going into the corner. That was Timotea with the pass. And Yort's going to go to the line, looking for a few more points. She already has 2 on the night. Haley Yort, 5'10" sophomore.
I want to actually, I want the JV coach to, well, they're not doing anything wrong, so I guess she's not going to, but she was quite exciting to watch.
Like the animation from the
she was exciting to watch during the JV game.
A lot of pounding on the ground. And
she was, she's animated.
Second ball goes in. 49-22 final score. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that at this point in a 27-point game with under a minute to go, but you never know.
Well, she was a little displeased with there was a couple things they did that
in the JV game. It was a frustrating game at times for them. 33-29, they ended up taking the loss as Cascade pulling off the victory. Again, Jackson about to run their record to 3-1 in league play, 5-4 overall. Nice steal there from Anna Gambish. Yort with another one, misses it. You know, Megan Madison had 8 points tonight, and she was kind of getting hustle points tonight, too. Should we bring her on here? What do you think?
I like hustle points.
I know nothing about Megan Madison other than I just like the way she was all over the floor tonight. And Zaragoza puts in the final bucket of the night. Jackson is your winner. The final score is 49-24. Shall we take a quick break?
We'll take a quick break, and you can go grab them.
We're going to grab an interview or maybe 2 and have a little fun.
Absolutely.
STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Way too low there.
Shirt 2.
There you go. Yeah, that works good. All right. Make sure it's the girls.
And welcome back to the Den here at Jackson High School. The final score tonight, the Jackson Timberwolves defeat the Cascade Bruins 49-24. Megan Madison is our player of the game. Megan, 8 points tonight, and you get a big victory. A couple threes, too. Seemed rather easy in the first quarter there. You guys get a shutout in the first quarter. Is that kind of a source of pride? Did you notice that the other team had 0?
Personally, no. I just knew that we had to go out and we had to work hard and play our defense, play our game, and not let how the other team played dictate how we played.
You were playing with a lot of intensity, and I was noticing, I mentioned to Todd earlier, you just seemed like you were hustling all over the place, even when you're up by 15 or 20. Is it hard to keep that consistency and that kind of intensity when the team's got a big lead, or is it just a matter of playing basketball?
I think a little bit of both. I think we just can't let it get to us, and we can't start relaxing. We still have to keep up that pace, and we still need to play how we play.
You guys were 10-14 last year. Right now you're 5-4 on the season. It was a young team last year too. Are you noticing improvement as the season's going along? Can you tell from one game to the next that the team seems to get a little bit better?
Yeah, I'm seeing mass improvement from everybody. Like, as each game goes, everybody's getting better.
And you guys keep winning too. We mentioned 5-4 already this year. You start to look ahead. Big game with Mariner coming up on Friday. I'm sure you know about those girls a little bit. They're having a nice season. Are you guys already kind of talking about that game, and are you excited to take on the Marauders?
Yeah, we're definitely excited. We know we got to play hard, and we're going to come ready.
There we go. So we're going to give her the Speedway Player of the Game shirt right here. We've got cameras going right now, Scott Williams and everything else. And Megan, I'm going to have you hold it up so Todd Elvick can get a picture there. Megan Madison with her, Madison with her 8 points tonight. She is the player of the game. And Megan, I've got to think you guys are starting to think playoffs a little bit. It's a ways off, but Lake Stevens obviously looking really good so far. But really, we were talking earlier, too, it feels like the league is more wide open this year and a lot of parity, a lot of teams that are kind of similar, kind of in that 2 through 5 range. Do you find yourself looking at scores from time to time and kind of watching what the other teams are doing, or are you one of those that just kind of goes home and doesn't even pay attention?
I know us as a team, we always go home and we watch film. We look at how certain players do because we learn who is doing well for that team, so we know we need to watch out for them and make sure that we play our best.
Always a student of the game, it sounds like then.
Mm-hmm.
Is the team having fun this year too? Is it a
Yes.
group that you enjoy playing with?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's always key, right? So having a lot of fun, picking up a lot of victories, and they're going to go celebrate this one. Thank you so much for coming on, Megan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And best of luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, we'll let Megan go ahead and enjoy that with her teammates at this time. Thanks again, Megan. 8 points tonight. We mentioned Olivia Skibble with 21 earlier. Other scores tonight, Alexa Martin with 6. We've got Jaden Kinchin with 2, Sydney Carter 4, Haley Yort with 3. And then we look over at Cascade, Katie Valenzuela 1 point, Valerie Zaragoza with 5, all in the fourth quarter. Brooke Alciaga 4 points, Baroka Johaida 5 points, Amanda Alciaga 3 points, Trinity Baker 2, Rose Gonzalez 3. Add all those up, and you get 49-24. You want to talk to Skibble? We're looking around.
Hey, Skibble.
We might have another interview here. There we go. Olivia Skibble coming on over to join us. We're gonna throw her on. There we go. Olivia, we're gonna have a little conversation with you since we're already here. You're probably becoming a pro at this, right? We interviewed you last year. I know you've already had one interview this year. Talk a little bit about this team right now. I mean, obviously, Cascade probably not a team that, obviously you have to come out every game and treat it like it's another opponent, right? But jumping out to a 26-2 halftime lead, that had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Do you, in a game like this, first quarter, they don't have any points on the board, do you guys start talking defense a little bit? Is it kind of a source of pride to get a shutout, if you will?
Yeah, so this week we've really been focusing on defense, and that's been our main priority. So we wanted to come out and just play really hard defense and that would create our offense.
First league game in a few weeks. Tell us a little bit about the break. You played a few tough teams too. Inglemoor, Eastside Catholic, and Bothell. It wasn't like you took the week off, right?
Yeah.
Did you find that the team gets better when you play tougher opponents like that? How does that help you moving forward?
Yeah, it definitely helps us moving forward. We realized that we really need to step up on defense. That's why it was our main priority this week, because we didn't play our best over the break, and so we were just really focusing and realized that we need to work on our defense and talking and communication.
And when you play those non-league games, do you find you're doing anything differently? Do you work on different offenses maybe, or do you just go out and try to play Jackson basketball and work on?
Yeah, we just try and work on stuff that we would run against regular league games. in teams.
I was talking to your teammate a minute ago here. I was talking to Megan Mariner coming up on Friday. That's got to be a game you've had on the calendar for a while. That's a really improved team this year.
Yeah, I'm really excited because they've gotten a lot better, so it'll be a good matchup.
You know, obviously with Hezekiah and with Grebovic, both seniors, you've played against them before. Talia Clark, is she a known player to you? Have you had a chance to play against the freshman yet that's putting up all these points every?
No, I haven't, but I've heard a lot about her, so hopefully we'll stop her.
And then it gets really easy next week, right? You go to Lake Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited to play Kylie in the team?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Do you enjoy those games?
Yes.
Okay, so a big test coming up. So Mariner, then Lake Stevens, and then we do the whole round robin thing over again here in a couple weeks. Do you enjoy playing teams the second time around? Do you? Obviously,
yeah.
it's kind of a catch-22. They know you better, but you know them as well, right?
Yeah. I personally like playing them first just because, like, it's new and different. But, like, I'm fine with anything.
There we go. And they're fine to a 5-4 record so far. Olivia, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and let her go back with her teammates. 21 points tonight, too, we might add. So Olivia coming over and having a quick chat with us.
Hey, this is just for fun.
Oh, we got another shirt for her, too.
It's different. It's just, yeah.
Olivia Skibble getting quite the T-shirt collection from STSPN now.
Thank you.
There you go. You always got to have prizes for your guests, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's
I don't mess around. They come up here, they get paid.
There you go. Well, we don't want to use terms like paid.
Well, yeah, paid.
Then we start to get into the whole, are you eligible for thing?
Yeah, that's right.
We give away T-shirts. It's really nothing much.
That's right.
Hey, fun time with you tonight, Todd. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
All right.
And it's a 49-24 victory. Jackson's certainly rolling right along, and we'll see what they can do with their upcoming games. And one more time, you guys are over at Glacier Peak High School Friday night. Glacier Peak versus Kamiak. Big boys basketball.
Well, that'll be a big one.
That'll be fun. And then you're often doing wrestling on Saturday over at Snohomish.
Yep.
4 p.m. start time.
Big tournament. Yep.
Let's do it. All right, so we're going to sign off right now from the Den at Jackson High School. Steve Willits, Todd Elvick. Final score once again, Jackson 49, Cascade 24. You've been watching STSPN.com. Have a great night.